Hello friends and welcome to the ADHD Workshop. This will be the first of a playlist or series of videos about a huge project that I'm going to do. It's by far the most ambitious, the biggest project I've ever tried to take on, and I'm already experiencing some frustration with that, but we're going to keep persevering and get this thing moving forward. So let me bring up a screen here and just show you what we are working with. So this is a 1966 Dodge A100 van. If you look at this thing, it's just really in phenomenal shape for its age. The description of it said that it was bought brand new by the Anza, California Fire Department, and that it spent most of its life in California, which I could totally believe because the shape of this is very, very good. It was either garaged some of its life or spent its time in some fairer weather places because the exterior is really in pretty pristine shape. There's very, very little rust that isn't superficial, and the body is extraordinarily straight for what it is. So here's a couple of, just other shots of it that were part of the deal. And you can see there, I ended up giving $3,000 for this van. So the first order of business was to get this home. Unfortunately, Tony had a brother that had a car hauler trailer, and they were kind enough for a very modest fee to bring this guy right to my house. And Tony, the guy I bought this from, really, really cool guy. I think he had the absolute sincerest intention for this van to go somewhere where somebody would try to get it back on the road and give it the care that it needs and quite frankly deserves. So Tony's brother got it home. I had my first opportunity to take it for a test spin here. You can see I got to steer it off of the trailer. So how cool is this van? I mean, it's pretty dang awesome, but even the younger generation, here's my granddaughter taking a maiden voyage through the interior space of the van. And I'm telling you, the inside of the van needs to be cleaned up, but overall, it's really pretty dang incredible. So here it is offloaded in the driveway. As you can see, I'm happy and granddaughter is happy as well. So here's why granddaughter might end up being really happy. So here's one potential option for the van. Turns out the Mystery Machine, the original Mystery Machine from the old cartoon, the van is extraordinarily similar to this Dodge A100. Whether you could say it is or not, I don't know, but here's one that's restored. I was actually looking for a van to do this exact same thing with about 4 years ago because I've got a couple of kids that were home and we thought it would be awesome. You know, how cool would it be to own and drive the Mystery Machine? Well, we might find out. This is one potential option, but as you can see, this is the version, it's called the Sportsman of this Dodge A100 that had windows all around. So normally where that driver's side back end would be a solid metal panel, this one has the windows. So we're going to have to see if there's a body wrap that would work well for this. If I'm going to do it, I want it to look really, really good. And if not, we'll just go with a classic paint job on this and it'll just be a really cool cruise around vehicle. Let me just give you a quick tour of the inside. This is somebody's aftermarket steering wheel. You can see the original steering wheel is right there in the passenger seat. The back end, you guys, this stuff is looking good. I mean, that headliner, of course, needs to be replaced in the panels, but all of the components for the windows are there. The inside panels are super straight, and there's just really no rust that I can see. I'll have to pull the carpet and see what it looks like. Of course, the first order of business for this van is going to be able to get it to stop. As you can see here, there's absolutely nothing in that brake pedal. So even getting it off the ramp was a little bit nerve-wracking. But first order of business will be, let's get the brakes going. And I've actually already been able to start that project because the person who owned the van before me, Tony, had already purchased a lot of the parts. So here is the old and new master cylinder for this vehicle. When I took the old master cylinder out, the bolts and stuff were rusted up so bad. It was super, super difficult to break these loose. I sprayed them with a bunch of kind of liquid wrench to get them to break free. And then, like a true awesome restoration project, I polished the bolts with the wire wheel and they turned out really nice. Ended up getting the master cylinder put into the car. Now, as soon as I get the master cylinder in, I decided to go straight to work on the brakes, and I'm about to show you something here that's crazy about this van. First, we give the Pug a little kick. I lost the audio to this video, and I cut my own head off. But what's very interesting about this, on the driver's side of this van, the lug nut studs are actually threaded in reverse. So normally you would turn a nut left to loosen, right to tighten. They say righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. But on this van, we're going to actually turn these lug nuts to the right to release them on the driver's side of the van. On the passenger side of the van, it's standard righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I just thought that was so crazy. And I'm glad the person I bought the vehicle from had actually snapped some of these bolts off, the lug studs right off, doing the traditional righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So he bought replacement studs and then gave me a heads up about it. So just kind of crazy. So the last thing I'll show you here, I broke into the drums and, took some reference photos. This is the driver's side rear. So we're going to go ahead and replace everything in the brakes, including new hydraulic cylinders for each drum. And so I just took a few reference pictures to make sure that I reassemble things well, even though I've done some drum brakes in the past. And of course, I can reference the other side of the vehicle, but just a few pictures to help things go back together a little bit smoother. So that is the new project. I'm going to be taking videos regularly on the project and posting them. Of course, I'll try to link them all together with this video so that there's a playlist. So if you're just jumping into this, there should be a sequential and I'll number them all. This is video number 1, so I'll number each video part 2, part 3, part 4. All right, folks, thank you for dropping in. If you have feelings one way or the other about make the Mystery Machine or go with a classic paint job, go ahead and throw it in the comments below. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you would like to see the rest of this series. And of course, I make lots of other videos on random stuff because this is the ADHD Workshop and you never know what's going to happen.